Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, and a very special welcome to our brand new author, Maria Grace Walk. Hi, Grace. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon from wherever you're watching. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. Let's show everybody your book and please share the title.
This is Hello Flutters, the book one, Tala and Two Tower, available now on Amazon.
So good. I mean, I have so many questions already, but before we go into, I have questions because it says book one, but I'll ask you about that later. So let's start with what inspired you to write this book?
Love this question. I can think of many, many significant events and special people in my life, especially my boys who have inspired me. But I want to share this one particular memory that happened one morning where I'm sitting in the corner of my son's kindergarten classroom, Miss Sharma's class. I volunteer once a week to help out, and it happens to be the day my son Gavin is presenting his project in front of the class. And at the time, Gavin is 6 years old, and he is so shy and so quiet. And from the corner of the room, while I'm, correcting papers, I can see him sitting on that circle time mat with all of his classmates, just waiting patiently for his turn to go up and present. And I see his little fingers, twisting and untwisting the edge of his sweater. And I think most moms will resonate with when I say that when you see your child's worried eyes, you don't just see their anxiety, you feel it too, right? And it reminds me of myself as a child and how fear used to feel so big, so overwhelming. And I'm in that classroom and I'm sitting there and I can really sense him wrestling with the nerves as many would, right? I mean, we all feel like that right before speaking in front of an audience. I mean, I feel like that right now. But, I do get them as an adult. And if adults get these uncomfortable nerves, imagine how a little itty bitty child feels, right? Not knowing what they are or what's happening. And really in that moment, I just want to shield him from this discomfort, pick him up and take him home. But I didn't do that. Instead, I walk over to him and I kneel down beside him and I tell him, if the butterflies in your tummy is making you feel icky, don't worry, they're only there for a minute and they're just little messengers reminding you that you are about to do something exciting and brave. And you know what? I'm already so proud of you.
Mm.
And this was just something I was never taught as a child. I had to learn it the hard way and much, much later through life, through challenges, through healing. And I just didn't want my son or any child to wait that long to understand our emotions and the sensations in our body. This book is for that child, the one who has ever felt afraid, and to the parents who wants to say, I see you and I'm here to help.
Oh, Maria, Grace, that was so beautiful. I love
Oh,
I
thanks.
love your inspiration behind this book, and I see that all over the book. So, can you tell us what Hello Flutters is about? What the book is about, and who would you say it's for?
Okay,
An
so
age range.
age range, I'd say 6 to 8. That's what I wrote, but really it's for any children. But the book it's a story about Tala, a young flying squirrel who learns to work through their fears by tuning into the sensations in their body.
Mhm.
And in his journey, he discovers that he has the power to choose whether to allow these fears to take control or not, right? We
Mhm.
have that power. He learns to understand them and transform them into strength. It is a story about, self-awareness, resilience, and making friends with our emotions, told in a way that's empowering for kids. Um, so this book is for children. Again, as I mentioned, the ones who may feel overwhelmed by their big feelings, and for parents, teachers, and caregivers who want to help them navigate those emotions with compassion. And I think that it will help families spark those meaningful conversations about fear, about mindfulness, about emotions, and also for, educators looking for a tool to teach kids about self-regulation in a more fun and approachable way.
Mhm. Well, you did such a beautiful job with the book. I appreciate the story. I think kids are going to really, really enjoy the story. And then at the end, you have a couple of pages, exactly like you said. How do we help our children deal with those emotions, with those fears, with those feelings? I also love the friendship component to the book between the squirrels. So I highly, highly recommend this book. Maria Grace, would you tell us a little bit about your background? Because you have a fascinating background that could really help children.
Yes, I am Filipino American, was born in the Philippines. I'm a psychotherapist. I specialize in trauma, healing adults, and I've worked with children in my earlier journey as a therapist. And during that time, didn't. I was looking for books, mindfulness books, anything that can help kids, or a tool that I can use to help, describe our feelings, how they come up to children. And I really struggled to find one. And so I knew that I would need to write one, right?
Oh, I'm so glad you did. So glad you did because kids need a book like this. So, Hello Flutters, Tala and Tug Tower is available on Amazon today. You'll see it there in softcover, hardcover, ebook format. This is the type of book that you should definitely have in your library, your home library, but grab an extra copy and take it to your child's school, your grandchild's school, because it's the type of book that every kid should really know about. So, Maria, you
Yeah.
did a beautiful job. I want to ask you a little bit about your journey into becoming a children's book author. What would you say? So, I know you've been wanting to write this book since about the time your children were young. Does it go beyond that or around that time?
Um, Beyond that, I've been writing since I could, or since I learned how to write. I journal. I write every day. I journal every day. I write about what I do or what happened that day. So writing has been a part of me, and it has been, you know, kind of like a dream of mine that has been pushed to the back. Um, so it's been really nice to see it through and
Mhm.
actually, create it. And this book is actually a children's version of the adult book that I'm working on. And that one is also about fear and how we can befriend our fear. And it has my research on it. My research is on the Grace Matrix, which is a tool that I developed to help my clients overcome trauma. And it's a mnemonic device where GRACE stands for grounding, reflecting, aligning, creating, and embodying. And you know, I I just thought that I should write a book to help adults describing that, and why not also write a book for children? So it's almost like
Yes.
this was a more fun version to write, by the way, because I get to draw and all that stuff. But yes,
Oh,
that's the background of the book. And I don't know, I meant to mention this too, but I did add, because I'm Filipino American, I did add some tidbits of my culture in here. You'll see parole, which is the star, and Tala means North Star. in Tagalog.
Mm.
So that's what his name is about. And there are little things in here that you'll find, like a little hollow store in the middle in the book, but I don't know if you
That's
can
so
see
great.
that. Yeah, and I do, like if you look here, there's a lot of things that I include that are very personal, but um, if I talk about it, it'll be this will just take on all day. I
Well,
could go on and on about this book.
Maria Grace, I really appreciated when I read that book that I could see your Filipino heritage coming out there. I didn't know about the trees. I learned about the trees. It's just, you've done a beautiful job. What would you say was the biggest challenge when writing this book?
Writing this book. Um, hmm. So I think it's just the newness of it, right? Writing a children's book from start to finish, a whole new world for me.
Mhm.
And I think my challenge was that the the allotting of how much time I needed to complete a task. It's always that, it's like always the time, right? Like whenever we do something new, there's always that learning curve that we often forget to factor in. And it's not just about, learning a new skill, it's about adjusting to the unknown, and that takes time. And for me, it's a lot more time than I usually anticipate. So I'm always
Mm.
falling short on, like, how much time I actually have. And as a therapist, I know that this is a cognitive bias. It's called the planning fallacy, where we consistently underestimate the time and effort and complexity involved in completing a new task, especially
Mhm.
something that's unfamiliar. And I fail at this every time, even though I already know about it. So that was really challenging, just kind of like,
Yeah.
really focusing on, okay, I'm going to put in or set aside this much time and add on a little bit more. So now I know
Right.
that. So it's also
Mm.
like the lesson I learned about myself.
Yes. Okay, that was gonna be my next question. What was your biggest lesson during the publishing process? Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I guess to add to that, I think it would be, just learning to slow down and give myself the time, right? The time that I need to reach my goals. This wasn't an easy thing to do because we live in a world that's always kind of giving us the reminder that faster is better and that we should always be making uh, progress. But for me, slowing down turned out to be the best thing that I could do. Our brains work best when we focus on one thing at a time with a clear mind. And when we rush and try to do too much, it triggers our stress and it makes it harder for us to think, right? Or solve problems or stay motivated. But when we slow down, we activate that part of our brain that helps us make better decisions, stay more creative, and keep focused. It's about giving myself that space to learn, to adapt, to grow, and not rushing it to be done. And just
Mhm.
really trusting that, meaningful work takes time, and that the time invested in it is it's never wasted. We're always learning about
Oh,
ourselves. That really helps.
so smart in learning, investing in ourselves, but, I'm sure you grew from the process as you're sharing, but now look at the work that you have
I
created. Look at the
know.
work
I
that
love
you're able
it.
that you're able to share with children and all the good things that they're gonna get from this book. So, I'm so glad that you went through the process, even if it took longer than you thought, or even if the time, we all have those things that come up. But I'm so glad that you did this. What would you say is the best part of accomplishing this dream of being a children's book author for you?
I don't want to cry. But I think the best part is really it is having it aligned with my mission and my purpose as a therapist and as a human being. I think, as I mentioned, I'm writing the adult version of this book, which, I hope to complete this year, but, I am slowing down. It's still in progress. It's called Say Hello to Fear. And, what gives my life meaning is being able to be of service to others. And in my practice, in my private practice, it's just so rewarding to hear and see my clients transform their lives, and be the person that they want to be, just by truly understanding themselves deep down within, and just rediscovering their authentic selves that they had lost or had forgotten, often through a painful life experience, right?
Mhm.
So with this book, the book that they can hold and read and reflect on, and teach, right? Even when I'm not physically there, it can heal. It can, like it's almost like a seed,
Yeah.
in people's minds that they can kind of reflect back on, and say, hey, it's okay to feel this way. I'm doing something new, and not to be hard on themselves. So, with
Mhm.
the help of this interview, right, and all of you here today, my friends, my families who shares this book, I truly appreciate it, because that really helps spread my message to more people who may benefit, and to those who may need to read this book.
Well, Maria, there's a lot of people here leaving you, excuse me, comments. I'm going to let you read them later, but you've got a lot of support here. People saying congratulations, happy launch
Oh,
day.
thank
Cannot
you.
wait to read the book. Love that you used a flying squirrel, such a unique choice. All those amazing comments. We have a lot of aspiring children's book authors that watch our interviews. What advice do you have for them?
Okay, so this is like an advice for me too. you know, at the beginning of my journey, I would say, for the aspiring authors out there who are listening, to be open to the challenges that come your way, and really stay true to your values no matter what, and to your intentions. The journey to achieving something meaningful, like becoming an author, is rarely smooth, right? There will be delays, there will be self-doubt and unexpected setbacks. But those are the moments where growth happens. And I do believe that challenges are what fuels our creativity and motivation, and it can really give us the clarity to know whether, if this is something that we love to do, or continue to do, or really let us know whether we're truly passionate about the project. As an example, a car traveling on a smooth road from A to B, it's just movement. And there's no meaning in that. But a real journey is shaped by the bumps and the detours and the obstacles that we overcome along the way. So
Mhm.
be open to those challenges that come your way. It is what's going to shape and bring meaning to your project and to your book. So embrace it.
Beautiful, Maria. Thank you. Thank you. I could talk to you for hours. I could
I
talk to
could
you
talk
for
to you for
hours.
hours.
But I do want to remind the people watching to go grab a copy of the book. It's available on Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, wherever you are actually in the world. Maria, besides Amazon, where can our viewers find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn as Maria Grace Wolk, and also on Instagram and Facebook. Same, Maria Grace
Excellent.
Wolk.
Excellent. And I just put your website there if
Oh,
anybody
thank
wants to
you.
go check that out. Well, Maria,
Okay.
it's been such a pleasure. Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to share, or anything you wish that I would have asked you? I'll let you think about that for a moment, but I will
Okay.
say this says book one. So I am sensing that there will be another book in the near future to accompany this one. So anything else you'd like to share before we go?
Okay. Which one first? The book two, or
Sure.
what? Okay. First, I'm not going to give too much too much, but book two is in the works, and I'm really excited about book two, actually. And I could tell you that it's going to be one of the characters in the book. And it's also going to be another helpful mental health tips of one of the many struggles that children and parents face. So that is all I'm going to tell you.
Beautiful. We're excited.
Oh, maybe I'll tell you who it's about. No, I won't. I
Sure.
won't. See,
Okay.
like if you keep talking to me, I'm just totally going to give you the entire book, what the book is. But I'm excited, and I hope that you all can stay, we all can stay connected, so I can let you know when the progress of book two.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to share,
Yes,
Maria?
I wanted to make sure that because I do this thing, the simple thing that you can start to doing today, and that's the next time that fear or anxiety shows up for you, I want you to pause and really notice where you're feeling it in your body, right? Just do a body scan, then acknowledge it instead of pushing it away or ignoring it. Just take a deep breath and say, "Hello, fear. What are you trying to tell me?" This act of acknowledgement can really shift how you see fear, not as an enemy, not as a barrier, but as a friend. Because once you recognize it, try to reframe it and reflect on what's behind that fear. Maybe it's uncertainty, the possibility of failure, the unknown. By choosing to befriend your fear, you can transform it from something that holds you back into a guide that helps you move forward. And they are such a helpful guide, really. I mean, they can be, your fear can be your best friend. It can teach you, it can inform you, it can inspire you if you allow it. It's that signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into a space where you grow, real growth happens. So I wanted to leave you with that because I know, even I have to remind myself that fear can really feel, it can really feel uncomfortable and scary, but it's a friend. Get to know
Yes.
your fear.
Oh,
So
oh,
hopefully you
get to
guys
know
enjoy
your fear. We will
that.
leave everybody with that. Maria, thank you so much for being here and sharing so much wisdom with our audience. Friends, you know what to do. Go grab a copy of the book. And Maria, we're looking forward to your adult book, but also to part two of this book. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody, for
everyone.
being here. Thanks,
Thank you,
Maria.
Miriam. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.